Are you curious about bodies, pleasure, and possibilities? And what about curious about what others are up to on the planet when it comes to pleasure, sex, and play? Have you considered what pleasure can do for your life, your body, and your bank account? Do you know something magical, delightful, and out of this world orgasmic is not only possible for you, but totally available to you? If you're ready to be the magical, sexual, sexy beast you know you can be, and you just need the tools to get there, you're in the right place. Now, here's the host of The Pleasure Zone, sensual movement artist, relationship and sex alchemist, Milica Jelenic.
Welcome, my sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. We have a very fun show for you tonight. Well, all shows are fun. Even the ones when I talk about like getting over your abuse or moving past your abuse, even those are fun because isn't it great to not have abuse in your body and have more pleasure? That's a little side note. But we're talking about presents and how much fun is it to gift presents and how much fun is it to receive presents and how much fun is it to do it on the dime, pretty much. And so I'm talking today about gifts that you can do for your lover. So this is not just your Christmas time lover. It could be your lover at their birthday. It could be your lover at Valentine's Day. And we're talking about gifts that you can do for under $20. This is 2020. So for those of you listening in the future and it's like 2030 and you're going, that isn't under $20 anymore. That's $7,000 now. I understand. Keep in mind, I'm talking about 2020. So one of the things that I like to do is look around my house for all things I can use for play and fun and sex. And you might be surprised about the things that you can find lying around. I'm a pretty creative soul. I do a lot of things with bodies. And so I'm used to looking at bodies and looking at what might actually create more pleasure for people, whether it's sitting in a better position or whether it's lying down better. There's always things that can increase your pleasure. And as I'm saying that just gave me a few extra ideas that we'll be talking about. I also wanted to look at some of the most interesting gifts that I hadn't considered that weren't lying around my house. So what did I do? I Googled. And what does every bright person do? They Google, because what? Google is like God. No, that's just wrong. But Google's pretty freaking smart and has all the algorithms that we know of. And Google can definitely help you find some ideas for gifts under 20, although I know everybody else is talking about lots of other search engines these days. If I could remember the name of them, I'd share them with you. But I went on Google, and what I did find was some pretty cool things that I will share with you later on in the show. And they're things I never even knew about. So I never knew about them. Like, I wonder if you know about them. So I'm excited to tell you about them too. And one of the things that I want to share with you as we're looking through what's around your house. What's around your house that could turn into a gift? Now, some of these things might be things that I'm not necessarily saying re-gift, but you're looking around your house and you're like, hey, that could be used as, or maybe you're going to create something out of it. So when I looked around my house, what I found was I actually found this beautiful silky tie that I've shown on the show before. And it came off of a dress that is equally satiny silky. Now, what in your wildest imagination could you use this for? You might just look at this silky kind of scarf and go, that's just a scarf or a belt or a tie. But friends, this has magic in it. This can be used for so many things. You could use this as, a very trusty kind of a blindfold, a very easy to use blindfold. You can create your own, handcuffs out of it too. You can just tie your lover up with it because it's nice and soft. You can do all kinds of things to tie your lover up. You can pre-make some little knots in there so that you have your own little handcuffs going on. So you got that happening. You can make them tighter. You can tie them to their legs, right? That's one little scarf. All the fun things you can do with one little scarf. And that little scarf was just hanging around on a dress that I don't really wear. And if you like this little scarf and you'd like one, you know what you can do is you can go to the material store And a lot of times you can find materials in the scrap bin. They have great scrap bins. So here in Canada, we have a place called Fabricland. And in their scrap bin, you can find all kinds of fun things you could use and that could turn into different playful toys. So one of them is getting some silks that you can use to create ties with, that you can also use to create kerchiefs with for different things, wrapping around bodies, again, tying them or creating blindfolds. A lot of fun with that. And you can use them for texture play. So if you get different textures, if you say, for example, go to your local Fabricland, you might find there's a bin with some rough materials. Maybe there's like burlap, and then there's silk, and there's denim, and there's fur. And you might find little bits and pieces that are, say, a couple dollars each. I found some, I don't have it here because I wasn't thinking of it as for sex right now, but it just dawned on me that it could be used for this. I got this purple vinyl the other day for $2. It would normally be like 20 because it was a scrap end. And now that I think about it, it could be used for sex toys too. Anything pretty much could be. So find some scraps of materials that seem like they would be fun, and you can turn them into things, right? So you've got your silks, you could turn it into a tie. You can also go to the same kind of stores, like, for example, the Fabricland, where they've got ribbons, and you can get pre-cut ribbons if you want, instead of making your own out of different silks and things. So right there, you'd have a pretty fun gift. And then how much fun would it be to add to that gift a little how-to or a little how-to guide? What I'd like you to use this on me for. I'd like you to tie me up. I'd like you to wrap me up, blindfold me, tie my legs. I'd like, and give them a list of things that you would like done to you with the thing that you're giving them. Isn't that delightful? So I think it's like super delightful to not just give the person the toy and then they're like, what do I do with this interesting piece of material? The thing you can do with that interesting piece of material is get super creative and let your partner know you have some ideas. These are some sexy ideas. You can also add to that little gift, which will probably be under $10 if you get even the nice piece of satin in the ends. And you can add to that, you can make your own coupons. Yeah, I'm a DIY kind of gal, and you can absolutely make your own coupons. You can get cardstock from Staples. And if you don't have cardstock, maybe you've got some colorful paper, or maybe you've got a really great printer that when you print, you have really nice images on your paper, so you can get a nice quality looking coupon. And you can buy coupons as well. You can buy sexy coupons like these. So these are your coupons for lovers. These are from Pure Romance. They kind of change their coupons up once in a while. But by all means, you can change it up and make your own. They have ideas like dinner for two. But for example, if you're using that, the tie, you might have, bondage night. You might have secret sniff night. If you're wondering what the heck that is, you can check out my it's free and it's really cool list of fun, sexy things to do. You just have to sign up for it's my mailing list for the Pleasure Zone. And I don't send out a lot of emails. In fact, if you get one once a month, you're lucky. However, it is a great way for me to be able to connect with you. So you can, by all means, get my little list and find out what on earth am I talking about when I'm saying to do the tie you up and have a sensey kind of experience. I can kind of describe it. So what you might do is blindfold a person. And here's my fun idea, is you stick your beautiful, sexy, sensual, and smelly body parts right up to their nose. Like, ladies, put your pussy into your lover's face and let them sniff it. Or put your armpits into your lover's face and let them sniff it. And they could be tied up and blindfolded and they are having a sniff wonderland playtime with you. Because isn't that fun? For some people, it's not fun. So I need you to get clear on whether, via communication that's verbal, whether this works for you or not, right? So this could be edging on some stuff that's a little uncomfortable because there's blindfolds and ties involved. Regardless of what's going on in the bedroom, always make sure you're clear that there's permission that's been granted by the person that's receiving, and the person that's giving actually wants to be giving. So these are pretty important. So I suggest that you get some things that are like the ties and different things like ribbons that are super easy, and then get super creative and give some ideas. You get ultra creative if you want and create like a little board game too. How would you do that? Well, if you're really good at graphics, you could create one on, say, something like Canva or PicMonkey. Create a graphic that's got a circle that's got like 4 different sections or 8 different sections on the circle, and put a little spinner in it. Spin the wheel, find out what would be fun to play with. Although I think there's like an online spinner that you can use too, like a Wheel of Fortune online thing. You can create your own. I did not make that because I just came up with that idea right now on the fly, because my brain just goes wild when I start talking. Before the show, I was like, I'm not sure. I'm just going to pile a bunch of stuff up here and see where this goes. So you can already see there's a lot of ideas just with a piece of material. Where are we going to go when we add other stuff? So let's add some other things. Let's add some other things like ropes, because why not? So this is my favorite rope. I love this rope. It's a soft white rope. For those of you who are listening and not watching, it's got a very soft feel to it. So different ropes feel different ways. Some of them are very itchy and some of them are less, they have less give to them. And this particular rope is very soft and very pliable, has lots of movement. And this particular one has about 40 feet of rope. And I bought this for under $20. I wound it up around my arm and finished it off on the end so that I can have a bit of a handmade handle. So this can be used as a beautiful soft whip, both for hitting, spanking, and also just for the fun of the texture. You can run it on your lover's body up and down. It feels really lovely. And you can run it up and down their genitals, because that feels nice too. And some people prefer a little spankage on the genitals. So have a little fun with that and see what your lover likes. And of course, it's a rope. What else can you do with it? You could actually go and look on some videos on YouTube for some wonderful tying techniques. There is an art to tying. And one day I will do that. It's a little hard to describe knots online. And to tie myself up is even harder. So I'm going to need a volunteer, and I'll be tying somebody up. Maybe I'll do a pre-record video of how to do some ties, knot tying. I think I've got somebody who's volunteering. Let's just find out. And I think it would be really fun to be able to get, so to get some things to tie up, right? And then be able to just have fun with it. So one of the easiest things to start tying is legs and like all the way down the thighs, or up the thigh, up from the ankles to the thighs, and start practicing some tying techniques. And definitely you're going to find some great tutorials on YouTube. I think there's a name for it that I can't remember right now that has to do with the art of sensual Japanese art tying, or the art of Japanese bondage, something like that. So check that out, because your rope could be used for so much fun. So you could go and learn that and offer that as a present to your lover. So go and learn some knot tying. Give that as a gift. Here's the rope, and guess what I'm going to do for you? You could make a little coupon for that too, if you like, just so they can come back and actually ask for it when they're ready. And of course, turning it into the whip, and then having that offered also as a gift for whenever they're ready to receive that. So there's some fun ideas out there that, I mean, you can go to Fabricland, you can go to the hardware store. Who knew? Thank you. The name was found by my producer. Thank you. The name is Kinbaku. That's the Japanese art of knot tying. And definitely not a name that was going to stick in my head, but it's a great name. So check it out. And what else do you have lying around your house? You got things like underwear lying around your house and shirts. And for me, one of my very favorite gifts I ever got from my lover was a t-shirt of his that he sweat all over. loved it, loved it, loved it. And then he took it back at some point when he moved in. I don't even know what happened to that shirt, but it held his smell for like months and months. And I would sleep with that because he wasn't living with me at the time. And I found it very comforting. So if you're a scent-oriented person, giving something, if your lover is scent-oriented, then giving them something that smells like you can be a pretty beautiful gift. I mean, if they have, if you're having an affair with somebody, maybe don't give them something like that because how are they going to use it? Or, going to try and take it home and they're just going to get caught. So this is more for people who are in monogamous relationships. Just an FYI, there are some things you just don't give your lover that you would give maybe your secondary lover, that you would give your primary lover, that, it can get confusing. We're just going to say these are mostly gifts for your primary lover. Cool? All right. That's how we're going to keep it straight. So we've got lots more gifts on their way. I know you're already lining up your day. Your next week, you're like, I'm going to go to the fabric land. I'm going to go to the hardware store and driving around town, finding things, staples for your paper. It's going to be fun. They're going to love you. And just stay tuned. I got lots more ideas, all of them under $20. It's crazy. So stay tuned. You're listening to The Pleasure Zone, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Are you secretly a voyeur, wondering what's going on in other people's sex lives? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual evolution? Are you interested in people who are pioneers of different sexual and pleasurable practices? Lean in now with Milica Jelenic, where she will entice you and your body to know your own pleasure zone. On the Pleasure Zone radio show with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is The Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email, info@MilicaJelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my sweet pleasure seekers. While I was on break, for those of you who are watching via video, I decided to take apart my beautiful, lovely whip made of rope and reinvent it. So that took me about 2 minutes to undo it, and then it got in a knot. And then I'm just going to be remaking it while you guys sit and watch here and listen. So the fun thing about having all these DIY things is it really has your lover know that you're thinking about them and that you're getting really creative on behalf of your pleasure life. And how nice is it to know, that somebody has put in the effort to create something super fun and super kinky for you to enjoy. So we have a couple of knots in there and ready to go. So get creative with your knotting, however you want to do it. Just make sure it's secure so your whole thing doesn't fall apart when you go to have fun with it. So your whip is basically made in about 5 minutes. And then you have a little handle here. So you can make your handle look however you want, whatever way you want. I do like creating knots on things, so I get a little creative on how I have those finished off. I like finishing things off. I don't know about you, but it is it's great to have things finished off. So There we go. We've got a little fun little handle. So you can hold that and have fun with it. So we talked about things you can get at Fabricland, things you can get at the hardware store. Now there's a lot more you could get at the hardware store. If you're getting down and dirty and fun into bondage, you can get things like chains and different things like that. For those of you who are into bondage, you probably already know this. So I'm giving this as kind of an intro to the lay person who's just understanding how much pleasure there is in a little pain. So yes. So I also want to talk about, before we go on to more of these great gifts, I want to talk about a few things. I want to remind you to go over to Inspired Choices Network and check out my host page. So if you go under the Pleasure Zone, check out my host page, and on there you're going to find a link that directs you to my list. It's a free PDF that you can get on my list of fun things to do. It's got 5 senses. It's got some locations, indoors and outdoors. You can combine them, and it just gives you an idea for if you're feeling like things are getting a little dull, you can use that list to spice up your life. You can also use that list for my next idea, like dice. So I got these dice at the dollar store. You could draw like pussy, you could draw cock and titties and lip, like mouth and whatever. And when you have that, you can have on one of them, you could have the body parts. And on the other one, you could have the what to do with those body parts, like lick, nibble, slap, spank, things like that. So these dice at the dollar store cost me $1.25. I think it was like Dollar Tree. I got these at Dollar Tree. So Dollar Tree is a Canadian store. It's a dollar store in Canada, but I'm sure these kinds of things, you can find them, I'm sure you can find them online too, if you like, but kids' toy stores, they're super, super fun. Any kind of dice that, you can write on and reuse is great. A lot of the dice that you can buy as a pre-made set already have things written on them. So they give you great ideas. And at the same time, you're kind of stuck with those dice because that's all you're going to get from them. They're fun though, they can be fun. So if you just don't have that kind of like creativity in you that you want to draw them over again, or if you're not interested in getting dry erase markers, then the one, easy thing to do is head over to a sex toy shop, or the Pure Romance company that I'm connected with might be having the dice come back. They kind of go in fashion and out of fashion. So sometimes we have them and sometimes we don't. And those are under $20 as well. So those are quite fun. We talked about the idea of adding coupons to things like your silks and your other things like your ropes, but just in general, some coupons are really nice. And, if you're good or not good at graphics, the thing about what's available these days is if you go online to something like Canva or PicMonkey, you'll find that they have options that are free. You don't even have to have a paid account, where you can get gift certificates that are pre-designed, and they're double-sided. So, and you can do multiples if you want. You can just add pages. And the gift certificates can have a picture on one side, which you could upload your own, or you can use something that they have. And then on the other side, you can write things. Some ideas are like date night out. Another one would be like something from your list. So if you created your list by going on to Inspired Choices Network, going into the hosts, finding me on the Pleasure Zone, if you go into that section, you're going to find the link to make your list. And then you could say something from your list, something from my list. And then you can play with some things that are just new ideas, right? And then date nights, for example, are another fun thing, especially for couples like me and my husband who have a kid, who don't always have a chance to get out, especially now with COVID. it's trickier to go on dates because, hey, there isn't a lot of places you can eat out for dinner. And it's really tricky to go out in general because we used to go to things like the theater and it's not available anymore. So now our dates are, let's go and do some errands. But we also go off and we go to Tim Hortons drive-through and just do a chat while we're driving home because it takes us 20 minutes almost to drive to a Tim Hortons. That's how far into the country we live. For those of you who know, in Canada, Tim Hortons is every 5 minutes, except for where I am because I live so far away from town, which is great, not complaining. And so you can have date nights. You can also have things like, here's an example from the coupons in this book is like, let's get wet. And it entitles you to a steamy shower with your lover. Or let's get wet could mean so many things. Like maybe it's you're pleasuring your partner until they just come ecstatically, repeatedly, over and over, doing a hat trick. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to my friend. And maybe a hat trick is what you need. You could actually put that on your coupon. I am entitled to a hat trick. And wouldn't that be great? I feel like I'm entitled to a hat trick. So I'm just saying, I want that on my list, and that's going to go on my. I am entitled. My gift to you is that you get to gift me a hat trick. What a gift! So create your own, make them fun. Like this one, for example, has kisses on it. You could do whatever you like. You could put cocks on it. You could put, labia on it. Have fun with it. You could just write the words "sexy times" all over it. Get creative. Have fun. And t-shirt. Hashtag give me a hat trick. Now you could give that person that gift too. You could get them a t-shirt from one of those online shops that, unless of course you have something like the that special cry cut machine, circuit cry cut, never get the word right, Cricut, that you can get at Michael's that can cut different things so you can make your own t-shirts. If you have one of those, hashtag give me a hat trick is right there. And now there's a fun gift. Give me a hat trick. Now, if you're not into tying people up with silks, but you do like the idea of having a blindfold, well, you can get one of these. You can get one of these through Pure Romance. They are, I believe, 20. Yeah, they're 20 Canadian. You can also, you can make one if you want. A lot of people are sewing these days. People are sewing face masks for their mouth, which, I mean, back in the day, that was kind of a bondage thing. Masking people up was like only what you did when you were going to take them into the dungeon and spank them up. But now everybody's got it. Because why? Because we're all bonded. We're all in bondage right now. It's the masks, I tell you. That's my interesting point of view. So we've also got that you can make your own eye mask. And you can get these anywhere as well if you wanted. They are just basically sleep masks, right? So you can make one, you can buy one, depends on how creative and fun you want to get with them. Turning them into a sexy item would be getting them in a silky material, so nice and soft for your eyes. Oh, so fun. So these are all things that, kind of going down the bondage lane because those are great gifts. Some other great gifts are less bondage and more time, touch. They have to do more with the love language of quality time and touch. So things like massage. And you could gift, again, that could be in your coupons. You could gift your lover a massage. Or you could just make one, promissory note of you get to get one massage every 2 weeks for the next year. Merry Christmas. And with that massage idea, you might want to give them something like some massage oils, which I got these massage oils at Winners, actually, in their section where they have a whole bunch of things like bath and body things. And I got 4 massage oils for $15, which is amazing. And there's ones called like Passion. Of course, at Winners, you can never be guaranteed what you're going to get, but they definitely have lots of options. That one's Bliss, Love Potion. I got the ones that seemed most in line with Enjoy, most in line with Good Times and Pleasure, because why not? So you can get some lovely oils that you can use for massaging as well. You want to get a carrier oil if you're going to do this. So you maybe want carrier oil, especially one that your lover's not allergic to. So if your lover's allergic to almonds, don't get almond oil. Just saying. If your lover's allergic to avocados or say bananas, then don't get avocado oil. Be smart about your oils. Get an oil that works for your lover. And you don't have to be an expert at massage to be able to give your lover a great massage. So all you got to do is look at their body and see where do their muscles go, and kind of move your hands gently in those areas. Try not to get too rough, because if you're not experienced at it, you can create a lot of pain. So we're talking about sensual massage. It's got a light touch. And if you don't really know what to do, you can get some gloves that are designed for that. And there are different tools for massage that you can get that are like little round balls that you can rub into the body. So those are fun. And what I actually have are some stones that I have collected over the years. So they're different mineral crystals like quartz and rose quartz. You can use those as well. And they vary in prices. They're not always under 20, but you can find some for under 20. So you can definitely have a lot of fun with those. So we're going to have more talks about more fun toys, things that I had never even considered because I didn't even know they existed until I did my search tonight. We'll talk about those when we come back from this commercial break. See you then.
Are you secretly a voyeur, wondering what's going on in other people's sex lives? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual evolution? Are you interested in people who are pioneers of different sexual and pleasurable practices? Lean in now with Milica Jelenic, where she will entice you and your body to know your own pleasure zone. On the Pleasure Zone radio show with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Interested in masturbating for money, copulating for consciousness, and pleasuring on purpose? 21 Days of Sexual Magicism with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic is an exploration of tools, processes, and actions that you can use to create more for your life, your body, your money inflows, and so much more. Graduated learning for all levels of interest. Learn at your own pace via video classes or join the yearly live class. Take a peek at www.milicajelenic.com.
This is the Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email, info@milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. Guess what? We're talking about sexy toys under $20. Yes, it's possible. And yes, you can have fun with things under $20. Seems unreal. I know. I don't even know what to tell you because I think it's so unreal that I don't even know that it's possible. But it is, because I've showed you things. I've showed you different options. Like I've showed you some of my favorite options that are the ones that you can get from Fabricland or from the hardware store. What else could you get at the hardware store? Oh, I'm sure there are things. I'm sure there are things that you could make some sexy little nipple clamps out of. I just gotta think about what that would be. Now, there are like some little tiny clamps. I don't know what you would use them for. Maybe making dollhouse furniture, you would need these clamps. Maybe like dollhouse furniture clamps could be used for nipples. I gotta look into that. Now I don't know for sure. Now I wonder. And then I think I could make my own nipple clamps. Damn it, that could be fun. Maybe I could do a DIY nipple clamps. Woohoo! I could do a DIY a lot of things, let's face it. So before the break, we've talked about things from the hardware store, things you can make, things you can get at the dollar store, right? It's the thing about these presents, it's not about the money that you're spending on them, it's what you're adding to these gifts. So the idea of giving somebody a massage oils, it might be $15. The idea behind it is gifting them the bi-weekly massage, so that you're giving them, that you are guaranteeing connection and touch and quality time every 2 weeks for a year. Now, if your lover's into touch and quality time, this is a pretty amazing gift. It's always cool to give somebody a gift that they actually like and that is in line with who they are and how they receive love. For example, if they're a person who receives love from like kind words of kindness, I never really get the names right, but I get the idea right. And if it is kind words, then one of the nicest things you can give to a person like that is maybe an audio of your voice telling them how much that you adore them. Or maybe you can write that to them and tell them how much you turn them on and how much it pleasures you to receive from them. Letting them know, a lot of times you'll know if this is your lover's love language because they'll be gifting it to you all the time to show you love. Even though it might not be your love language, it's probably there. So you'll know if your lover really loves like kind words, and words of affirmation is what it's actually called. You know your lover loves that because they give it to you. And you can give it back. And it may take a little practice. So maybe writing it is your way to go. And you can write things like, you are one sexy mofo, and I really love it when you go down on me. And man, the last time you went down on me, my body was so crazy, I don't even know what my name was anymore. Say stuff that's true. Say stuff that will have them feel really good about themselves. And that can be one of the greatest gifts you can give to somebody who loves words of affirmation. And you might not be a person who knows how to deliver it. It can be one of your stepping stones to get into actually telling them that. So the other one that I would recommend, if their love language is words of affirmation, doing something like giving them a poem or singing them a song, or even things like, I actually had a boyfriend once that made me a song. It was very sweet. And that was my Christmas present, actually. And it was one of the sweetest. I remember that, even though my love language is not so much words of affirmation, it was a very sweet gesture. So there are so many beautiful, wonderful ways to gift to a person, and whatever way will have them feel loved, gift them that. So, quality time can be one of them, and it's a little hard sometimes during COVID. If you're not living with your lover and you can't gift them quality time, then there are other ways that you can try and do that. Think about them, masturbate to them, let them know you're doing that, let them know that you're thinking about them, because they definitely want to hear it, especially if there's this words of affirmation. And if it's quality time, then trying to find some time, either connect via video or whatever, give them the time that they actually would like with you. So that would be a really great thing to do. Gifts, to me, gifts are actually meant to have that person know that you love them. And in our house this year, we're going Victorian. Our lights are going off. We're going via candlelight. I'm cooking dinner over the wood stove. I like cooking on the wood stove. And everything is handmade. So every last spare minute I have, I've been making gifts. I've been crocheting and knitting up the yin yang. I've never knit so much collectively my entire life, even though I could have, I just didn't. And I'm just making things. I can't even say what I'm making for sure, because I think my daughter's on the other side of the wall and she might hear what I'm making for her. So I'm not going to be saying that. It's been fun. I mean, you could, if you are into knitting, you could knit like a little pee-pee tent for your lover's cock. Pee-pee tent. That sounds very childish, but you could knit like a cock warmer because it's funny. I don't know. I'm not knitting my husband a cock warmer, but I might. Now that I've said that, I'm thinking that would be pretty damn funny. Cock and balls warmer. Oh yeah. If your lover's a woman, knitting them like beautiful bikini, whatever. You can get yarn for really cheap. So you could do this. You could get this going, girls and guys. Guys knit too, by the way. There's like a guy in Newfoundland who knits all the time, but he don't think he's been knitting bikinis or cock warmers, folks, but they should be, because that is a market right there. There's a DIY video, knitting the cock warmer. I will think about that. So exactly, there, my friends, my producers tonight are already getting the marketing going. Cock warmers hand knitted by me, trademarked. I'm totally trademarking that, because who's doing this? Nobody. It's going to be good, guys. It's going to be good. So I got those ideas. Why? Because I'm having Victorian Christmas in my home, and that means I'm making stuff. Okay, so that was fun. And cock warmers, and that's all good. So where else can you go with these ideas? So many places. You could actually create a theme night, right? Like Happy Christmas / Valentine's Day / birthday, because this is for gifts for all occasions. You can create theme nights in your home, and you can, send your lover an invitation. Tomorrow night, we're having theme night. Actually, I got this idea particularly because a friend of mine was having a birthday, and normally they travel away for their birthday, and they couldn't this year. So her husband got they had plants in their house. He brought them all to the living room. He turned the heat up super high. He got blow up palm trees. He made margaritas. He put towels on the ground, and he created a holiday for them. So they had a holiday weekend in their bedroom. And I think that that's just like the sweetest thing going. So, create theme nights. And I think holiday weekend away is very, very cute. And, whether it's like Arabian Nights in your bedroom and you get all your scarves and hang them from the ceiling, that's pretty fun too. Dress up times, giving your lover something for dress up time is super fun as well. And just so many fun ideas that like literally can like blast open your sex life as well, and your pleasure can ramp up because you're adding different things to your life that maybe you haven't experienced yet. So think outside the present box, because there are so many things outside that box that you can actually start to gift to your lover. So one of the things I wanted to share with you, things that are common that you can actually find lying around and you can find for under $20, books of any kind. Now, there's a really great book from Urban Outfitters, and I'm just going to go look at that link for a sec. It's called Position of the Day Playbook, Sex Every Day in Every Way, and it's from nerve.com. You can get it at Urban Outfitters for $15. Super fun. It's all drawings, and I almost went to order it while I was on here, and I was like, okay, I'll do it after the show because it's just so fun. Position of the Day Playbook, love it, for $15. Can you imagine how much fun you can have with that? And just bust open your ideas too. So the next thing I wanted to share with you guys that I'd never seen before is on a site called uncommongoods.com. So uncommongoods.com. It's called a long distance touch bracelet. These crazy things are only $8. They send love long distance through connected bracelets. So if you touch your bracelet, the other one lights up and vibrates. What? I know, never heard of this. So uncommongoods.com. It's called the Bond Touch long distance touch bracelet. I don't know if it's $8 US, but it's $8. So it's still under $20 Canadian. And it seems like such a sweet gift, especially if you are having a long distance relationship and you want your lover to know that you're thinking about them. And that one's a great one for under 20, because there are ones that are more sophisticated that you can get as apps on your phone. They're over 20 that also have vibrators that you can pleasure your lover from a distance. But that's more about distance relationships in general. I just thought this one was really cute because even if I say, for example, maybe your husband or your wife or your lover of any type works really long hours and you just want them to know that you're thinking about them, you can send them the love touch vibrations all day long. Maybe not all day, that might drive them crazy, but let them know every once in a while, thinking about you. And how sweet is that? It's just really sweet. So I thought those were pretty fun ideas. And again, the books are great. I think if you've never read anything like the Kama Sutra, get one of those, read it with your lover. You can get them for under $20 as well. You can get tantric books for under $20. There are a lot of books that are dedicated to things that are more educational and inspirational, and things that will bring some new ideas into your pleasure life. And I think that, you can never have too much information, I don't think. So go out there, discover what you'd like to have your book about. And maybe it's a full book on oral sex. Maybe it's a full-on book about all about those positions, those, a position a day for a year. Like, what? That's so cool. Such a cool book. I am actually going to get it because I think it's cool. And if anybody who wrote this book from nerve.com is like excited that I'm talking about this, yes, I will take commissions for sales. Absolutely. So it's pretty fun. And I encourage you to go out and discover like some great toys under $20. So we're going to head to our next commercial. We're going to wrap up this show after the commercial. So stay tuned. You're listening to The Pleasure Zone here on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
Are you secretly a voyeur, wondering what's going on in other people's sex lives? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual evolution? Are you interested in people who are pioneers of different sexual and pleasurable practices? Lean in now with Milica Jelenic, where she will entice you and your body to know your own pleasure zone. On the Pleasure Zone radio show with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for the Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email, info@MilicaJelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my sweet, sweet pleasure seekers. Today we've been talking about fun gifts under $20, from everything from Fabricland to the dollar store to things you could find in your house and make on your own. This is one of the most economical and creative ways to gift your lover, turning your own home into a getaway, because guess what? It's pretty freaking hard to get away, is really one of my very favorite ideas. And also I'm sharing with you all my favorite ideas, frankly. And that bracelet is so fun. The touch from a distance bracelet. Now, there are a lot of things that are available out there. There are, for example, like in the toy game world for adults, the number of things that are now available blow your mind. There are hundreds of different kinds of dice games, hundreds of different kinds of card games and board games. There's like, instead of Monopoly, there's Monogamy. There are, like, you name it, they have it in the sex area. So if you're, into games like playing cards, or if you're into playing board games, then get something for you and your lover that you can have a lot of fun with. There's, some of the older ones are like Dirty Secrets, and I don't even know if they're still around, but it's kind of like Taboo, but it's for more adult, more racy Dirty Secrets. And you can create your own. You could play charades or charades, however you want to say it, with your lover. You could get them to guess what position that you want or what sex act you would like done. And if they guess correctly, they get to do it. And if they don't get to guess correctly, they get punishment. Oh, what would the punishment be? No sex for you. Oh, that would make me become so freaking good at charades. You have no idea. I'd be like practicing learning every hand gesture my lover has, just so I could understand what they're trying to do in charades. So we've looked at different things, all kinds of things that you can bring to your lover as a gift. Now, there are other things that you can gift your lover that are actually more for you. For example, I once gifted my now husband, but he was my lover at the time. I gifted him a pair of purple thongs with diamonds on them because he absolutely loves purple. And obviously it was not a gift that he's going to, well, not obviously, I shouldn't say that. It's not a gift he would wear. He's not actually into wearing women's panties, but it was more a gift for me to wear for him. So lingerie is a great way to go as well. And you can, especially now during this time of year, a lot of lingerie is on sale. So you can go to your local lingerie store. If you do have a local lingerie store who is independent, definitely go to them. I am a huge fan of independent places, but like I was telling you guys, I do shop at other places. I do shop at the Dollarama because I can find things like these dice there. I shop everywhere because everywhere employs my people who are local. So I have a different take on stuff like that. If it's giving local people jobs, then I say keep their jobs. You need to get them to keep their jobs, but also the little mom and pop stores need their jobs too. So a lot of sex shops are independent, so go to them and check out what they've got. And you can come to me because I have a link for Pure Romance as well. And I'd be happy to work with you on finding some gifts that work for you and your lover, whether they're under $20 or whether they're over $20. And one of the things that I also offer for anybody who connects with me, you could get a free, well, it's a gift. You can be gifted a coaching session, a 15-minute coaching session. So if you're going through something with your lover and you'd like to resolve it and your gift to them would be some coaching, you can connect with me and we can do a preliminary coaching call and see if we're a fit. And that would be a gift. And that's just like one way to start it off. So, things that we wear, lingerie, things that we do for our lovers. You could also go out and create an aphrodisiac spread for probably under $20, getting something like chocolate and strawberries and some decadent things and create an aphrodisiac spread. And then here comes the blindfold. Stick the blindfold on your lover and have them do taste tests of different foods while they're blindfolded and feed them like a god or goddess that they are. And another one that can be fairly affordable as well is to go out and get a canvas and then do a rendition of your lover's genitals for them. I would actually love to see the rendition that I would get of my vulva from the perspective of my lover. So that would be great. I would love to see what they see and the admiration that would come through. So that would be one really cool thing. Super cheap, especially if you've already got some paint or canvases at home. It's virtually, you've already paid for it and you can go off and create that amazing gift. You could also paint them positions that you like or do a self-portrait nude for them. You could also create a bit of a little calendar if you like for probably under $20. I don't know if you want the local Staples to see this, so it might be something you want to do as a private print job on your own if you have a good quality printer. Take some photos or get a friend to take some boudoir photos for you. I have a lot of friends who do boudoir photos, so if you need connections in Ontario, let me know. And you can get some photos done and then get yourself a lovely calendar for your lover. Even just one photo in a frame can be beautiful, such a beautiful gift. So again, it doesn't always have to be super expensive. Super thoughtful is a really great idea. And you can also go to things that don't even seem sexy, like making your lover their favorite dessert and just saying that that's your present. So, whatever it is that has your lover know that you're thinking about them and feeling connected to them is the most valuable gift you can give. And also knowing that you're choosing them and they're choosing you. So lots and lots of information, right? I have a show planned for you guys in 2 weeks that I'm really excited to share. So it has all to do with culture, and I've got a guest for that one. So stay tuned in and turned on this week.
Thank you for listening to The Pleasure Zone with sensual movement artist Milica Jelenic. The Pleasure Zone returns next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by choosing to be turned on and tuned in to your body.